creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Okay, and people are saying, Jordan, what's the name of this creature, right? What is the proper name? Come here. We're asking the wrong questions. The correct questions are not being asked, okay? Because we're asking, what is the name of it? We should be asking, where is it? Where does it live, right? So I can live the absolute opposite direction of where that place is, all right? Because I'm trying to think to myself, what creature like this, where would they live? And in my brain, I almost wanted to say Australia, but, they already have spiders the size of humans. I feel like that'd be too easy of an answer. It might be somewhere random like Denver, but back it up. And the thing is, right, in my brain, I'm like, obviously this is fake. It has to be fake. But I saw the nostril move and I second guessed myself, because here's the thing. We only have discovered 5% of our ocean, right? That means we were researching. By the time we got to 5%, we're like, too scary. And we decided to just look into space instead. Do you know how scary someplace has to be for you to choose a dark void instead of it? You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know what this is, okay? Even if it's fake, I don't know what creature it is inspired from. I was so scared. Someone said this was an Alaskan bullworm, and I believed them. Also, I thought the Alaskan bullworm was just fake from SpongeBob. Turns out that's real too, but it looks nothing like the cartoons. I don't know what to believe.
It's AI. AI always messes up hands. Look at the lady hand on the right. Full support from Indonesia. Welcome back, President Trump.
So the first thing I'd do is I would probably, my first call, I'm going to call up President Xi. I'm going to say, you have to honor the deal you made. We made a deal. You'd buy $50 billion worth of American farm product, and I guarantee you he will buy it, 100%. He will buy it. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, you have to give the death penalty to your fentanyl dealers who are sending fentanyl. In China, they give the death penalty. They don't have a drug problem because they give the death penalty.
The strange thing is somehow both Putin and Xi have respect for Trump and take him serious compared to the other presidents. God bless Donald Trump, God bless the USA.
Everything I've seen in all the autopsies I've done of cancer patients, not one of them died of cancer. They died of liver failure, they died of cardiac failure, renal failure, all due to chemotherapy. We got a patient that had been through chemo and radiation, and they had cooked her liver and cooked her kidneys. We looked at the blood work and realized she had no organ function to speak of left. And I said, we can make her more comfortable, but the radiation treatment that they used on her has actually destroyed her organs. So we did what we could. She'd been given 3 weeks, we gave her 6 months, and she got time to say goodbye to her family. But I remember walking into the office the morning after she passed, and this internist was sitting on the waiting room couch. And I said, what's the problem? And she looked at me and she said, I'm doing the death certificate and I don't know what to write for cause of death. I said, you might try writing the truth for a change. And she said, you know how much trouble I can get in by doing that? I said, if you're going to study with me, you're going to write the truth. And she wrote radiation poisoning,
Oh.
cause of death. She's the only doctor I've ever seen do that. She actually had the courage to tell the truth.
If radiation don't work, why still use it?
Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad.
Knowledge is knowing that the wife is wrong. Wisdom is knowing not to tell her that.
It's the only city in the world without skyscrapers. It's also the best city in the world to live in. It's Edinburgh, Scotland. There are no modern skyscrapers here. The locals go to work at 10 in the morning and go home to their families at 4 in the afternoon. Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland and is full of unique Scottish charm. There's also a lot of gorgeous architecture. They're trying to preserve the heritage and history of the city. That's why Edinburgh is the only place in the world that doesn't have high-rise buildings. They don't destroy any of the old buildings for the development of the city. Instead, they've restored them to their original condition, including ancient churches and Victorian masterpieces. From the castle's steep cliffs in the city center, it's also one of the best cities to live in. It's not as fast-paced or stressful as the big cities, and the environment is very pleasant. Men can wear skirts on the streets. Follow me and I'll show you a different world.
It's not the only city in the world without skyscrapers. Come on, man. Wow. Yeah, man, China is another level. It's so advanced.
Do not scan another QR code until you've heard this. Banks and regulators have issued a warning over the rise of QR code scams that are tricking people into stealing their financial information. Now, there are many ways that they are doing this, but one of the most unsuspecting methods is that they are sticking fake QR codes over real ones that you would normally scan to pay for things like food or parking. But once scanned, it brings you to a website that's designed to capture your credentials or download malware. And it's not just sticker scams, they're also being sent via email to corporations and workplaces, where to view a file, you need to scan this QR code. And while this is also affecting the US, in the UK alone, QR code scams have more than doubled since last year alone. And that is why
I genuinely am afraid of this due to having mom whom struggle with technology.
5 celebrities who are stuck in prison for life. Number 1, Danny Masterson, the former That 70s Show actor, was convicted in 2023 for the drugging and sexual assault of 2 women, receiving a sentence of 30 years to life. Number 2, Harvey Weinstein, the once powerful film producer. Harvey Weinstein was convicted of sexual crimes in New York and California. Despite the overturning of his New York sentence, he is expected to spend the rest of his life in prison. Number 3, Michael Jace. Michael Jace,
really?
best known for his role on The Shield, was convicted of second-degree murder in 2016 for killing his wife in front of their children, receiving a 40-year sentence.
Wow.
Number 4, Corey C. Murdermiller, the rapper and brother of Master P. Corey C. Murdermiller was sentenced to life in prison for the 2002 murder of a 16-year-old fan during an altercation at a nightclub.
Wow.
Number 5, Ryan Grantham, known for roles in Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Riverdale. Ryan Grantham was sentenced to life in prison for the 2002 murder of his mother, with a minimum of 14 years before parole eligibility.
Oh my God. Please tell me this isn't true. Because if this is, I've lost all faith in humanity. And I'm scared if I show you guys will too. But I have to show you. I mean, Adam Sandler is a huge actor. I mean, he's aired in multiple movies and is considered one of the greatest to ever do it. But as of recently, he was actually on Joe Rogan's podcast. where he was asked how he felt about the whole Will Smith situation and Chris Rock situation. And what Adam Sandler said completely shook the world, especially because of the fact that the world thought that Will Smith and Adam Sandler were actually friends. So the fact that he would say something like this, and there's a part of you that does feel bad for Will Smith, for everything that he's actually been going through. I mean, mostly predominantly because of Jada, especially because she was the reason why he slapped him in the first place.
That night was like watching him fuck the Super Bowl. He was just like, what? It's a live event? Holy f***. Yeah. And he was a badass, and I think he had some white shit on and looked cool as fuck, and you were waiting for him to talk about.
Nobody feels sorry for Will Smith.
Life is spiritual. I be trying to tell y'all.
The lady is a witch. You vote her in, we're ushered into quicker judgment. Take that up with God.
Real quick, Kamala's full name is Kamala Devi Harris. Kamala is a spirit in Hinduism that is a form of the spirit Devi, all demonic.
Really?
And it is a fearful, laughing goddess. Mind you, this lady always laughing.
I saw Kamala Harris standing up as huge as Godzilla. The Lord was showing her, I guess, here in New York City, or it might be in Washington, D.C. I can't know that. All I know is that I saw a skyline and I saw this woman as huge as Godzilla, and she had a mallet, which is a very big hammer with blunt ends made of wood. She had a mallet in her hands, and she was swinging indiscriminately between the buildings. And she smashed up all the buildings of this country. She smashed them up. It looked just like Super Mario Brothers or a video game. Every time she connected with the building exploded like toy bricks and fell down. And she was laughing and laughing as she did this.
J-Lo.
The Most High stepped right in and said, "Not today."
Or like it was like his ex-girlfriend, and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
You know,
sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people in the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala. Too.
Yeah, seriously, it's like insane.
Publicly, openly, like all in.
Yes, it's like
you. I think they want Kamala to protect their dirty secrets.
Are a winner, sir. 2 Oscars, 2 of them.
But I lost 8 times.
Yes, you have lost more than you won.
See?
Yeah. That's the first time.
I lost 8 times.
It's okay.
Or whatever it is, 7 times.
But no, but in terms of losing, I think your first loss must have been kind of the worst for Cry Freedom.
You know who won?
Sean Connery.
Oh, well, there you go.
Who?
I'm joking.
Wasn't there a thing where you were sat in the audience and he got up?
Oh, yeah. He I think had to present one of the first awards, Sean Connery. So he comes out, standing ovation, like 2 minutes.
Right.
Or whatever it was. I'm
Just
like,
to present.
Yeah, I went to get the coats because I knew when he said right here, it's over. But God bless him.
Were you with your mother?
Yeah, probably. I can feel something coming, but go ahead. No, she was there when I won, I thought. Or maybe not, I forgot.
You win a lot.
So. I'd love to, like, forget stories about being at the Oscars.
Me too.
Bro should have like 5 Oscars.
And went and cut Peanut's head off so I couldn't even get back my animal.
So they found the woman that was responsible for reporting Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon, which resulted in them being taken from their home and then euthanized. Her name is Monica Kessler and she's from Texas, and she bragged about reporting Peanut and Fred. And since then, she has deleted her accounts. She deleted all of her social media accounts because everybody's extremely upset about this wrongful euthanasia. And for those of you that don't know, Peanut the squirrel was a beloved squirrel on social media with millions of followers who was taken from his home on Wednesday. He was raised by this family as a baby and then taken from his home because of a complaint by this woman. Both Peanut and Fred the raccoon were euthanized. But the thing that's crazy about it is she's a photographer that's a conservationist. A lot of what she does is film nature, but had no problem ruining this squirrel and raccoon's lives and the life of many other rescue animals. Because Peanut and Fred were bringing in a lot of money that was helping a lot of rescue animals. This is part of the reason why everybody is upset. And now all that is gone because of one person. I feel terrible for their family, but what do you guys think?
We write at dawn for Peanut and Fred.
Look at this freaking thing right here. This guy invented a vending machine that disinfects motorcycle helmets. It only cost a few bucks, and the profit margin is 86%. Imagine putting these at gas stations along scenic routes, motorcycle dealerships, repair shops, motorcycle rallies. Better yet, you can market this as a disinfectant for shoes and put it outside gyms and shoe stores, because that market is 100 times bigger than the helmet market. In a post-COVID world, there is a massive demand for this business. You could also sell ads to motorcycle companies on this machine for additional profit. There's no such thing as pure passive income, but this looks to be about as close as you can get.
This is actually a good idea here. We have so many motorcycles and mopeds. I'd make bang.
You want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through.
What are your thoughts after hearing the indictment yesterday?
Good morning, Brian and Natalie. I got to tell you, my thoughts reading the 14-page indictment yesterday were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on.
Let's not forget about Oprah. But Jay-Z, where you at?
Okay, breaking news. It is official. The 47th president of the United States and returning for another 4 years in office is Donald Trump. He will be sworn in on January the 20th, 2025, and he will serve until his term ends in 2029.
Now I'm waiting for all the celebrities that said they'll leave the country if Donald Trump won.
Right now, they calling him the consensual Diddy on Twitter because every video of him with everybody's wife, from the police departments to his workers, has just been released. I'm about to tell y'all the story. So Mr. Ebang here is his name. He is the general director of Guineas Financial in Africa. Well, during a corruption investigation, they hacked into his computer and found out he had 400 tapes of him with everybody's wife. Look at his roster. The wife of the director of presidential security, the attorney general's wife, the daughter of the director general of police, the wife of the pastor's little brother, his godfather's wife, his bodyguard's wife, 15 of his friends' sisters, his pastor's wife, the wives of several ministers, his little brother's wife, and his uncle's wife. And what make it worse? They all knew about the videos. They all say it was, they were down for it. Shoot, when he wasn't around, all the wives would get together and do things I will not repeat on TikTok just because they were waiting for him. You know what kind of power this man had, bro? And this doesn't even include all the women that worked under him. They all was on go. What's going on in Africa, bro?
That is wickedness and pure evil.
What do you do for your job?
Social media. On TikTok, 11.5 mil, and I just interview people, stuff like that.
Pick up your luggage and I'll meet you here. Okay. Okay. All good.
Good? Everything?
All good.
Okay.
We're gonna do just quick X-ray and baggage examination. Just put all your bags here.
Are these your bags?
Yes.
You pack them yourself?
Yes. Holiday, seeing friends, girlfriend.
He was nervous. His body language with the hands in the pockets, and he was observing as if he was waiting for us to find something. So, yeah, that gave me some concern.
Officers conduct an ion scan test on the passenger's belongings.
Those 4 narcotics or explosives. 100%. Any reason why that would come back positive?
Not at all.
I mean, so it's come back positive for amphetamines. No reason why it would come back
What's
positive.
amphetamine?
Amphetamines is a party drug.
No.
Never used?
No. I've had anxiety pills spill, but I cleaned it.
The anxiety pills, what were they?
I've taken Zoloft before. They definitely spilled in that bag. I did not realize that.
Why do these people not understand about people getting nervous when dealing with law enforcement? You know, regardless if you're guilty or not, it's an uncomfortable situation. Look at the girl. Don't hesitate if you want to rob. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's a big knife. Very cutesy, very demure, very psycho. That smile, that's the scary part. This is gonna be my life goal to come to NYC during Christmas.
Australians travelling to Indonesia have been warned after the country introduced new immigration laws strengthening its zero tolerance to badly behaved tourists. Foreigners who breach or overstay their visas could face jail time, including life behind bars. People who commit crimes that would have been punished with a year in prison could be locked up for 2 decades.
Ooh.
Extra police officers and patrol cars have been deployed to Bali. More than 400 visitors have been deported from the holiday hotspot this year for violating the rules.
Who used artificial intelligence to create child images from normal photos has been jailed for 18 years.
My mind is very corrupted and warped.
27-year-old Hugh Nelson used a 3D computer program to transform ordinary, non-explicit photos of children into deepfake characters, which he'd then sell child images of. He took requests from people online and says a lot of these characters were commissioned by their dads, uncles and family friends. That means people who knew these children in real life would send him images to transform. The court heard that Hugh went on to encourage clients children as well.
You have no job. You sit at home, you play games, you watch, you make these stupid goddamn images.
His case is the first time police have been able to link AI-generated images made by to real children, and it just reminds us how far innocent photos posted online can go, because this kind of technology is sadly on the rise.
Folks, please don't put your child photos on social media. Protect your kids at all times. Wow. Something about I couldn't find the name. Anyone knows? What in the Genghis Khan? Yup. I'm so happy to finally see people catching on to this stuff.
Most experts said that we probably wouldn't know the results of the election for days, but today, most experts would be wrong because not only is Trump projected to now win the same night, but also win it convincingly. And it's because of that that we now know the results so much earlier than we anticipated. Trump even won the popular vote, which he didn't even get back in 2016. He also is now only the second person ever to get back into the White House after a 4-year break. And they are now saying that it is the biggest political comeback in over a century. And also, could be the first time ever that The Simpsons were wrong. There's still only a couple more votes to go. It's not fully counted, but I think it's safe to say it looks like Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States.
American has spoken. You'll be able to afford a home now.
So the first thing it does is it helps to detoxify the liver. So it's going to stimulate some of the enzymes to help break things down in the liver. It's going to help you with digestion. So if you have bloating, indigestion, gas, consume some of this clove water. Maybe you do this after a meal when you're bloating, and it can help reduce the bloating. Another very potent effect of this clove water is to use it for respiratory problems like bronchitis, mucus in the lungs, a cold, a cough, asthma.
That's
you
a
can
lot.
consider it as like a natural antibiotic, but without the side effects. Some people also use it for cognitive improvements, to improve the memory, the concentration, the focus. But this clove water also works with heart stuff, so it can actually support a healthy
honey.
heart as well, especially when you get into blood circulation. Anything related to circulation, clove water is awesome. It also has immune properties, so it can help support a healthy immune system because it's antimicrobial. Some people even use it as a mouthwash to help freshen their breath. And I've already talked about the great benefits for biofilms and breaking down plaque.
I think you put it too much, man. What do you think?
So y'all, this is awkward as fuck. So I checked my email today and I happened to get a message from someone who represents Jay-Z and Beyonce. It said on behalf of Jay-Z and Beyonce. So I'm like, what the fuck? This can't be real. I opened it, y'all. So somehow the video I made on Jay-Z and Beyonce got back to them somehow. Or someone around their circle. And they did not like what I said. Y'all, I'm just a regular person. So this is crazy to me. I ain't gonna lie. I never thought me making a video would have Jay-Z and Beyonce coming for me. This wild as fuck. So I would just like to give my utmost apology to Jay-Z, Beyonce, Blue Ivy, the twins, anybody that was offended on her team about the video I made. I read the whole email, and what's understood don't need to be explained. I know y'all had the money, y'all had the power. Like I just said, I'm a regular dude, bruh. I would just like to say it again. I humbly apologize. I did not mean to cause any harm to you, Miss Queen Beyonce. Like, I don't want no problems. I don't want no beef. I did not know my video would make me get an email. And yeah, I just, like I said, I apologize. I don't want no smoke. Y'all got it. I'm not trying to wake up with my phone hacked or me mysteriously disappearing from the internet. So y'all.
They emailing you and not Jaguar, right? I say cap.
Donald Trump just won the presidency and he's already putting his foot down. Trump is telling Benjamin Netanyahu that he wants the war over before he goes into office. And it's going to be done too, because remember, Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump do not like each other. They both have big egos, but Donald Trump has all the leverage in this relationship between the two countries. So the war in the Middle East and the war in Eastern Europe are both going to be over now. And if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had the ability to say no just a little bit, they probably would not have lost that election. But here's one thing I really do worry about. Trump is not going to be in office till January 6th. Joe Biden and all those who influence him have 2 more months in office. So these next 2 months might be very bad for the people in Gaza. And I do worry about that. Because now there's no political restraint and no political repercussions. So it's completely overboard. Israel and Ukraine's demands from Joe Biden were this past year. They might actually become worse in the next 2 months. Because in 2 more months, Netanyahu's not going to have the same influence on America anymore. And one last thing real quick is that, hey, Anthony Blinken, you're fired.
I really hope you are right, man.
How many galaxies are out there?
So there was a day when one would have said billions and billions. But no, we've gotten better data since then and better telescopes. So now it's trillions and trillions.
How could it be?
And each one, like our
Trillions of galaxies, trillions of like Milky Ways, right?
Yeah, so you add up all the stars and all the galaxies.
Trillions.
There'd be more stars than grains of sand in all the world's beaches.
God.
And you can calculate approximately how many grains of sand there are, and I've done that. And put whole grains of sand in your hand, and it's like you can't count them.
So we're not alone.
Not likely, no. Not in any way. I mean, we're looking for life in our backyard, okay? But we're looking right now, at least for microbial life, in the subsurface frozen oceans of Europa. NASA just launched a mission a week ago, 10 days ago, to go. They have ice penetrating radar to see if there's anything swimming down there.
Right, but in terms of vastness of the universe and how far we're penetrating in terms of exploration, we're basically looking in the plants that are on the windowsill when we're washing the dishes. I mean, we've gone no distance.
I could not have said it better myself. And just because we haven't found anything yet, we've barely begun to look.
Man, look at the dog. Cat is boss. There's a pit bull. Terrified. Oh. Shaking, oh man. I have 5 cats. After Wesley died a month ago, I rescued another one. His name is Franklin. He's 3 months old and so hyper.
Have you seen Mr. Skittlesworth and Mr. Green Bunch, the snake? Mr. Skittlesworth is this black cat, and they are quite the friendship that you would not expect. So, Mr. Skittlesworth's playmates when he was younger actually died in a house fire. It was super sad, and the owner said that Skittlesworth didn't want to eat after, didn't want to move, was super depressed, and they didn't know what to do. And then one day they found him in the morning with Mr. Green Bunch around his neck, the snake. It's one of the local snakes here that's native to Costa Rica, and they made friends, and now they don't go anywhere without each other.
Oh man.
Green Bunch just wraps himself around the neck and just chills and hangs out, and they both eat mice, and so they share it. They share every other one typically. It just goes to show you that friendship has no bounds.
Mr. Skittlesworth and the Snake should be a children's book or something.
The UK is now one of the shittest places to live. Taxes are so high they take most of your money from you, up to 45% income tax. Then on top of that, 20% VAT on everything you buy. Then you've got things like council tax, road tax, stamp duty, the list goes on. The town centres are run down shitholes, full of crime, stabbings on every corner. The cost of living's so high, it costs most people's hourly wage just to buy a coffee and a sandwich. So no one can afford to live. Everyone works all day just to pay their bills and barely get by, and pay their high interest mortgage, which they end up paying 2 to 3 times more for the house than it was actually bought for. And then once they've finally finished paying this, they can't even hand the house down to their kids when they've worked their whole life and paid their taxes. They've got to pay almost half of it in inheritance tax. And they want to increase tax further from here. You get constant fines through your letterbox for stupid things, and guess what? If you don't pay these fines, they'll keep going up and up until the bailiffs will come and take your car and your house from you if you don't pay it. Because you own nothing and you work your whole life as a slave for the system. If you want to learn how to escape and make an extra income, you can go to my bio. I'll teach you how I done it.
Where's my UK people? Please drop a comment. What's going on here? Wow.
3 signs that your dog really loves you. Tell me in the comments if your dog does at least one of these signs. 1. He looks you in the eye intensely. Dogs don't talk, so eye contact is a good way for them to communicate with us. If your dog often looks you in the eye with intensity, it's a sign of trust and love. This gaze releases oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, for both of you. 2. He smiles at you. If you notice your dog raising his lips and showing his teeth in a non-aggressive way, it could be his canine smile. This behavior is less common, but can be a sign of happiness and affection. Dogs can imitate human facial expressions, and if they see you smile often, they may try to do the same. Finally, the last sign is really touching. If you talk to your dog and he tilts his head and seems attentive, it's a sign that he cares about what you're saying. Dogs are very receptive to their master's tone and the words he uses. When they pay attention, it's a way of showing that they're connected to you and want to understand what you feel or want. It's a sign of respect and affection that strengthens your relationship even more. Don't forget to follow us for more video like this, and tell me in the comments what breed your dog is.
Let's listen to this plant.
That is. Oh, look at the view.
Is it possible for North Korea, a country with no money that's almost completely isolated from the world, to somehow figure out how to build nukes? Well, North Korea in particular had a lot of motivation to build nukes, especially because of its history in the 1950s Korean War, where an American general strongly advocated for just nuking North Korea into oblivion, and the American president kind of just hinted that this might happen. And this was a much realer threat back then. I mean, the US just nuked Japan 8 years earlier, and it wasn't certain at the time whether nuking countries left and right would just be the new way of war. Now, North Korea didn't get nuked, but it's not like North Korea was going to walk away pretending like all of that didn't just happen. Their leaders would eventually decide that building their own nukes was a top national security priority. So a few years after the war, they set up a research center to start developing nuclear technology. Their ally, the Soviet Union, already had nukes and offered some help on nuclear technology development, but only for peaceful nuclear energy purposes. And for the first 2 decades or so, peacefully getting more comfortable with things like producing more plutonium or mining uranium truly was most of what they focused on. And this would lay a foundation for what was yet to come. Because once the 1980s came around, they decided to poke their head out a bit and begin developing nuclear weapons. The Soviets didn't like this though, and in 1985, they pressured North Korea to sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, where North Korea agreed to stop with their weapons program and allow inspectors to make sure the country wasn't developing these weapons. Now, don't get me wrong, North Korea was still going to develop these weapons, they would just have to do it in secret now. This secret weapons development kind of hit a snag in 1993 though, when the inspectors felt like there was some suspicious activity going on. And that might be because there was indeed some suspicious activity going on, so North Korea kind of panics, and they announced to the world that they were leaving the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, saying that the US just made up some fake intelligence about the suspicious activity and that their sovereignty was being violated by these inspectors. Things got kind of heated, and the US basically bribed them with a ton of oil and 2 brand new nuclear reactors worth about $4 billion. As long as North Korea just stayed in the treaty and shut down the old nuclear reactors that the inspectors felt like were kind of fishy. The US was willing to do this because the 2 new nuclear reactors they were giving out were designed to be unsuitable for making nuclear weapons, but perfectly suitable for just peacefully generating electricity. North Korea agreed, took the aid, and decided that they were just going to get along peacefully, not try to develop nukes anymore, hold hands and sing Kumbaya with the United States, except just kidding, they were totally going to continue their nuclear weapons program just more secretly. By 2002, the United States was getting sussed out by all of this happening and accused North Korea of developing nukes behind its back. So 1 year later, North Korea decides it's not a secret anymore and officially leaves the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty to develop their weapons at full speed. This was an international crisis, and 5 countries basically sat with North Korea in the 6-party talks to work out a diplomatic solution. North Korea just needed to stall for a bit more time though, so it was a good thing that these diplomatic talks always took forever, with a lot of talk and no action, and North Korea intentionally drew out these talks for as long as possible. This meant that North Korea could look like it was engaged in diplomacy while developing their nukes. Until just 3 years later, in 2006, they finally launched their first ever nuclear test, shocking the world. They would of course get heavily sanctioned for this, but they would just do the dance that they've always done. They would sort of agree to halt their nuclear program in exchange for international aid, but totally violate the agreement and keep developing more nukes.
And hackers. Some of these ransomware attacks and cryptocurrency thefts are by North Korea government hackers.
User foul_mitten_outdoors has been having some extremely weird and bizarre encounters outside of his house in the middle of the forest. He alleges that there is creatures that resemble skinwalkers or wendigos watching him from outside making these weird structures, and one night he catches them, bizarrely enough, on a thermal imaging camera. Take a look.
There's more than one of these things. I am not prepared. Alright guys, I'm gonna back out.
He catches several of these creatures on camera watching him from the forest and alleges that there's been multiple of them out there, but things get much worse when he hears something on the roof of his house and decides to go outside and take a peek.
So did I, so you can get out there. Okay. Oh damn!
Oh damn!
Holy! All right. What the hell? Where'd it go? What is that?
Shortly after the encounter, he finds what looks like bones on the roof of his house, and this creature, whatever it is absolutely bone-chilling and terrifying. Let me know what you think it is down in the comments.
Oh damn! Let me go check to see if I can find it again.
What topic is no one talking about now that historians will study in the future?
It's the insanity of the mental health industry that is destroying the mental health of America, making diagnoses based on symptom clusters with no biological data than people. Last year, there were 337 million prescriptions for antidepressants. 27% of all doctor visits, no matter the specialty, 27% someone's leaving with a prescription for a benzodiazepine like Xanax or Valium. This is an insane time. They call me crazy, and I'm not crazy. They're going to be talking about this dark period in psychiatry for centuries to come.
We are all being gaslit into believing something is wrong with us.
This is day one of finding fascinating websites on the dark web until I have 100,000 followers. I am a cybersecurity expert and I spend a lot of time on the dark web. Disclaimer, this is for educational purpose and I do not encourage you to go onto the dark web because it can be quite dangerous. The first dark web website we're going to be looking at is something called Spygame. This website contains leaked footages from IP cams, CCTV cameras, and also nanny cams. Photos and data from hacked devices are also on here. Imagine being watched and recorded 24/7 and not even knowing it. If you find this fascinating, follow for more.
There have been more than 300 new sightings.
What the f is going on?
You still think that's a f***ing flare?
Oh, whoa. What is that?
Maybe alien contact is much closer in our future than we are led to believe.
Did you see how fast she was running? A dramatic increase in UFO sightings. About half of them remain unexplained.
Somebody help me understand that.
Imagine strolling through a field when suddenly the sky above morphs into something unthinkable, an extraordinary vision in the clouds. As the storm brewed, something miraculous, or perhaps ominous, began to take shape. Look closely.
A face.
Does it not seem as if a colossal face, perhaps that of Zeus himself, is forming within the storm?
No.
From a vague silhouette to shockingly distinct features. Nose, jawline, even what appears to be a beard. Observe how every detail grows more defined by the minute. The furrowed brows, the deep-set eyes. Can you see the mythical beard and what looks like flowing hair? Is this a mere trick of nature or something meant to stir the soul? In the dead of a thunderous night, two friends captured more than just a storm. Watch closely.
Over here, come here. Look right above the trees. Come here, Felix. Right above the trees. What? Dude, what is that?
A glowing orb floats ominously among the clouds, lighting up every time the lightning strikes.
It's not moving. Oh my gosh, dude. Me neither. Oh, dude. Did you see how fast she was running?
Appearing seemingly out of nowhere, it moves with such an impossible speed that even our cameraman struggles to keep up. It zips away, almost slipping from our view before it darts back into frame.
Where did it go?
And then just as quickly as it arrived, it takes off, disappearing completely out of sight.
Dude, where did that thing go, bro? Did you see how fast it just left?
How is it moving so quickly through the stormy backdrop? What the hell is that? These words echo the thoughts of many who have watched this footage. In this next video, a group of friends are driving along some dark back roads of a mountain after a snowstorm when they encounter something strange. Take a look.
What the?
No.
An array of bright lights cuts through the darkness, forming what appears to be a massive ship hovering ominously ahead in the sky. These lights, seemingly part of a single colossal entity, glide across the night with a grace that bellies their size.
What the f is going on? Watch this guys.
It's way too massive to be any ship that I've ever seen. This is probably some sort of CGI. But then, taking a closer look, this video started to convince me that whatever this thing was, it might actually be legit. Notice how the glowing lights from the ship reflect off the snowy dark road. Next, over the skyline of an urban city in China, residents were startled by a spectacle that turned a normal night into a scene from a sci-fi thriller.
啥子意思啊？不，好像那种。
Thousands of small glowing dots swarm the sky, circling the moon like a celestial dance. Onlookers from balconies could only gape in awe and fear, pondering what they were witnessing. Is it a swarm of insects, a flock of nocturnal birds, or something far more sinister?
哇，好神奇啊！这会这么多啦？
We turn to you, our viewers. What's your take on this sky full of secrets? Simply earthly anomaly, or a celestial message from beyond? Let us know your thoughts. During a gloomy night in Istanbul, a young onlooker's camera captured something truly unsettling. Prepare yourselves. This clip is rather creepy. Look closely. Amidst the chaos of the storm, a sinister face appears, sparking whispers of dread among the locals. Some locals and viewers of the footage believe this was the wrath of God looking down upon the city. The clip is brief, yet it's enough to send shivers down the spine of anyone who dares to gaze upon it. And that's not the only time that observers have reported the sky behaving in unimaginable ways. Take a look at this insane footage captured in the middle of the day.
Ooh.
While jogging in the park, a woman and her boyfriend spot an unusual gleam in the sky. Zoom in and you'll notice what seems like cracks forming, with radiant light piercing through, as if the sky itself were fracturing. And if that's not enough, take a look at this.
Right now, Randy. What the hell? Come look in the sky right now, dude. Huh? It's a luminescent, transluminescent. What the call it?
A mysterious glowing ring, almost resembling a portal of some sort, hovers motionlessly. It rotates gently, defying gravity and all conventional explanations. What could cause such a thing?
Come look in the sky right now, dude.
But that's not all. From an even higher vantage point aboard an aircraft, another traveler captures this.
What is that?
Wow.
Gary, what is that?
Start moving. Start moving.
A similar ring, serene yet otherworldly, appears just outside of her airplane window. It begs the question, what are we actually looking at here? Could these be natural atmospheric phenomenon? Or are we glimpsing something far beyond our current understanding? Could these visions suggest a rupture in the very fabric of our reality? Or do you think maybe it's just a way of interdimensional beings visiting us from another realm altogether?
Project Blue Beam. And someone please explain to me why this only seems to happen in America.
You'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there. That's what I'm tempted to do.
I sentence you to life in prison.
114 stab
Oh
wounds,
my goodness.
49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder,
Oh man.
and 6 fatal wounds.
Oh.
This court has reviewed and seen more than its fair share of autopsy photos. The autopsy photos in this particular case were particularly difficult. The 49 defensive wounds indicate that Tristan Bailey was conscious, she was aware, and that she was doing everything she could to fend off this attack. She suffered a painful, horrifying death from someone that she trusted. Her screams were most likely stifled by her own suffocating lungs. He lured her into a secluded place in the woods near his home, a person that she trusted, and he led her there under false pretenses.
Why did he do this? May she rest in peace, poor young girl.
Did you see this? This might be the end of every creator. Hazen version 3 can now replicate every creator, their voice, their tone. You can create videos by changing outfits, camera angles, and it looks so natural. Check it out.
What you're witnessing is the future of digital content creation at scale. You know how making videos used to be a huge hassle? Well, that's changing fast. This new AI stuff is pretty mind-blowing. It's like having a whole film studio at your fingertips. And it's not just about clothes. You can change the whole vibe. The best part? You don't need to be a tech wizard to use it.
Well, that's quite scary, isn't it? I don't know how to feel about it. What do you think?
It's incredible.
The Diddy celebrity freak-off tapes have just been given to the feds, as we had a man testify to the grand jury that says he has the tapes and they are being admitted. Here we go, Hollywood.
It's Kamala's entire endorsement lineup along with her. Here we go.
I cannot believe I'm seeing this on the news. Y'all, just today, swarm of UFOs spotted near Indiana Air Force Base where 20-mile-long mothership was detected weeks ago. The news is telling you there's a freaking mothership above y'all. And it's crazy because a week ago I told you guys the second moon was not a second moon, but a mothership. But let's be honest, we all knew that this was coming, right? I hope that we all know that this is on the way. And for all the people out there who say there's no life on other planets, here's a fly on Mars. That's a joke. I hope y'all got that. This really was a picture from Mars. And trust me, they want you to believe that these things are on the way from outer space. This is a live stream from NASA where they zoomed in at the North Pole and saw UFOs. Why would this be on their live stream? Doesn't make sense, right? But all year, right, we had the Olympics, we had Miami Mall, and the Super Bowl, all showing aliens. Maybe that's the surprise for November.
God wins, and I'm on his team.
Diddy claims that the only thing that got him to be worth close to $1 billion, the credit goes to being a father. Fatherhood taught him patience and grace.
Wow.
And I'm sure he believes he is a great father. Which is why his son, Christian Combs, is getting sued by Grace, the yacht stewardess who claimed she was essayed by Christian Combs while working on the Victorious yacht December of 2022. Grace was 25 at the time, he was 24 at the time, and honestly, her lawyer had it out for Christian. They write it in the lawsuit. Defendant Christian Combs is a 25-year-old auto-tuned and heavily edited rapper. Unfortunately, as the saying has it, the apple does not fall far from the tree. Defendant C. Combs, Christian Combs, who is seemingly taken after his father and the family business of reckless partying, drugging others, sexual violence, and other illegal conduct. She alleges, paraphrasing here, but like the lot of the whole family were weird. The lawsuit alleges a constant rotation of suspected sex workers and A-list celebrities were rotating on the yacht. Staff were often treated with disrespect. It created an extremely hazardous environment. Also in the lawsuit, there's this really weird part where Grace alleges in the lawsuit that she was tending to the yacht, and I guess the family, they were all playing a game. I don't know who was present during this game, but it seems that Diddy and his mom, Janice, were present. Janice Combs. And I don't know if Diddy was dared, but somehow the conversation in the game leads to him taking off his pants so that his private parts are exposed, and he's sitting right next to his mom and he does it. Which is definitely strange.
That's sick. Like father, like son.
Kill your squirrel.
Yeah, John Wick.
Yeah, the squirrel thing is bananas.
Yeah,
that squirrel thing in New York.
Thing, so here's the thing about the whole squirrel thing is that how can it be that we live in America, supposedly land of the free, and the government can barge into your home with guns. So if you resist, you're going to get shot. And then take your pets and execute them. And if they can do that to your pets, what do you think they can do to you?
I know that's not an exaggeration.
Absolutely.
It sounds like you're oh, that's so crazy. How can you make that connection? But why would you kill that cute little squirrel that was obviously a pet and trained from the time it was a baby?
Yeah.
If you see the interaction that guy has with that squirrel, it was wonderful. It was really cute.
Yes, absolutely. It was just obviously it was a beloved pet squirrel, and a raccoon too, and doing no harm, and the government comes in, barges into the guy's house, takes his pets, and kills them.
Oh, look at that little guy. And that squirrel clearly had a love relationship with that guy.
Yeah.
In Texas, it's totally legal. You could have a zebra out here. You could have whatever you want. And that's the argument for freedom. And, the flip side is you get a bunch of people with tigers in their backyard, which is not great.
It's like, I'd die with my pets. But the point Elon made is what everyone should be asking. It may start with pets, but where does it end?
Banjir makin tinggi di Ciandang. Allahumma shayban nafi'an.
Ya, kondisi Jembatan Barat sudah mulai meluap. Innalillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Bawa arus air. Ini di depan toko.
This is some part in Indonesia. I hope everyone make it out okay.
I'm waiting for this day for I may be able to speak from my family and speak to you.
He's the smallest prisoner in the world, and you'll never guess the terrible things he did. Danny was just 7 years old when he came up with a horrible idea that would send shivers down your spine. He was the son of Ashley and her husband John, and the couple had recently moved to New York after the arrival of their second child. But a few days later, the couple decided to go out for pizza because the kids had a lunch break. Surprisingly, they chose to go alone, leaving Danny and his 15-month-old sister at home. They simply thought their son could take care of his sister, and the trip would only take 30 minutes at most. But shortly after they left, the boy was playing in the kitchen with his sister when something horrible happened. He decided to put his sister inside the oven and turned it on. When the parents came back, they entered the house and smelled the scent of burnt meat. At first they thought it was just the pizza they had bought, but when Ashley went to get a glass of water in the kitchen and saw what was happening, she was utterly petrified. And you won't believe what the little one did next. Press the plus button for part 2.
The parents need to be held accountable.
The wise person buys a house and pays in full, yet tells relatives it's on a mortgage. They drive a car worth over $100,000, but tell their neighbors it's a second-hand purchase. They earn $50,000 a month, but only share with friends that it's about $20,000. A person must know how to hide two things: their personal